Chapter 3 of The Castle of Adventure by Enid Blyton, read to you by Soft Sound Whispers. Settling in at Spring Cottage. The first day or two were very happy days indeed. The 4 children and Kiki wandered about as they pleased, and Jack found so many hundreds of nests that he marvelled to see them. He was mad on birds, and would spend hours watching them if the others had let him. He got very excited one day because he had said he'd seen an eagle. "An eagle," said Dinah disbelievingly. "Well, I thought eagles were extinct and couldn't be found any more, like that great auk you always used to be talking about." "Well, eagles aren't extinct," said Jack scornfully, "and that just goes to show you how little you know. I'm sure this was an eagle. It soared up and up and up into the air, just as eagles are said to do. I believe it was a golden eagle." "Is it dangerous?" said Dinah. "Well, I suppose it might attack you if you went too near its nest," said Jack. "Golly, I wonder if it is nesting somewhere near here." "Well, I'm not going eagle nesting," said Dinah firmly. "Anyway, Jack, you've found about 100 nests already. Surely that's enough for you without wanting to see an eagle's nest as well." Jack never took birds' eggs, nor did he ever disturb the sitting birds at all. No bird was ever afraid of him, any more than any animal was ever afraid of Philip. If Lucy or Dinah so much as looked at a nest, the sitting bird seemed frightened and flew off. But she would allow Jack to stroke her without moving a feather. It was very odd. Kiki always came with them on their excursions, sitting on Jack's shoulder. He had taught her not to make a sound when he wanted to watch any bird, but Kiki seemed to object to the rooks that lived around. There was a large rookery on one clump of trees not far off, and Kiki would often go and sit on a nearby branch and address rude remarks to the astonished rooks. "It's a pity they can't answer her back," said Philip, "but all they say is caw, caw, caw." "Yes, and Kiki says it too now," said Jack. "She goes on cawing for ages unless I stop her. Don't you, Kiki?" Kiki took Jack's ear into her sharp, curved beak and fondled it gently. She loved Jack to talk to her. She made a cracking noise with her beak and said lovingly, "Caw, caw, 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 caw." "All right, that's enough," said Jack. "Go and listen to a nightingale or something and imitate that. A rook's caw isn't anything to marvel at, so stop, Kiki." Kiki stopped and gave a realistic sneeze. "Where's your hanky? Where's your hanky?" she said. To Lucy Ann's delight, Jack gave her a hanky, and Kiki spent the next minute or two holding it in her clawed foot and dabbing her beak with it, sniffing all the time. "New trick," explained Jack with a grin. "Good, isn't it?" There were gorgeous walks around the cottage. It was about 3 miles into the little village, and except for a few houses and the one general shop there were no other houses safe for a farm or two, and a lonely farm cottage here and there in the hills. "We're not likely to have any adventures here," said Philip. "It's all so quiet and peaceful. The village folk have hardly said a word, have they? And all they do say is, 'Ah, that's right,' to everything." "They're half afraid of Kiki," said Dinah. "Ah, that's right," said Jack, imitating the speech of the villagers. Kiki immediately did the same. "Do you remember when Kiki got locked up in a cave underground, and the man who locked her up heard her talking to herself and thought she was me?" said Jack, remembering the adventure of the summer before. "My word, that was an adventure." "I'd love another adventure, really," said Philip, "but I don't expect we'll have another one in all our lives long." "Well, they say adventures come to the adventurous," said Jack, "and we're pretty adventurous, I think. I don't see why we shouldn't have plenty more." "I wish we could go up and explore that strange castle," said Dinah longingly, looking up to where it now towered over the summit of the hill. It looks such a queer place, so deserted and lonely standing up there, frowning over the valley. Mother says something horrid once happened there, but she doesn't know what." "Well, we'll try and find out," said Jack promptly. He always liked hair-raising tales. I expect people were killed there or something." "Oh, how horrible. I don't want to go up there," said Lucy Ann at once. "Well, Mother said we weren't to anyhow," said Dinah. "She might let us go eagle nesting," said Philip. "And if our search took us near the castle, we couldn't very well help it, could we?" "Well, we'd better tell her if we do go anywhere near," said Jack, who didn't like the idea of deceiving Philip's kindly mother in any way. "I'll ask her if she minds." So he asked her that very evening. "Aunt Ellie, I believe there may be an eagle's nest somewhere on the top of this hill," he said. "It's so high it's almost a mountain, and that's where eagles nest, you know. You wouldn't mind if I tried to find the nest, would you?" "No, not if you're going to be careful," said Mrs. Mannering. "But would you or Hunt take you anywhere near the old castle?" "Well, it might do," said Jack honestly, "but you can trust us not to fool about on any landslides, Aunt Ally. We shouldn't dream of getting the girls into danger." "Apparently there was a cloudburst on one of these hills some years back," said Mrs. Mannering, "and such a deluge of water fell that it undermined the foundations of the castle, and most of the road up to it slid away down the hillside. So, you see, it really might be very dangerous to explore up there, Jack." "We'll be very careful," promised Jack, delighted that Mrs. Mannering hadn't forbidden outright their going up the hill to the castle. He told the others, and they were thrilled. "We'll go up tomorrow, shall we?" said Jack. "I really do want to hunt about to see if there is any sign of an eagle's nest." That afternoon, in their wanderings, they had a curious feeling of being followed. Once or twice Jack turned around and sure that someone was behind them, but there was never anybody there. "Funny," he said to Philip in a low voice. "I felt certain there was someone behind us." "I heard the crack of a twig as if someone had trodden on it and broken it." "Yeah, I thought so too," said Philip. He looked puzzled. "I tell you what, Jack, when we get to that patch of trees, I'll crouch down behind a bush and stop, whilst you others go on. Then, if there's anyone following behind us for some reason, I'll see them." The girls were told what Philip was going to do. They too had felt like there was someone behind them, and they walked up to the patch of trees, and then, when he came to a conveniently thick bush, Philip dropped down suddenly behind it and hid, whilst the others walked on talking loudly. Philip lay there and listened. He could hear nothing at first, then he heard a rustle and his heart beat fast. Who was it tracking them, and why? There didn't seem any sense in it. Someone came up to his bush and someone crept past without seeing him. Philip gazed at the someone and was so astonished that he let out an exclamation. "Well!" The girl with ragged clothes, bare feet and wild curling hair jumped violently and turned around. In a trice Philip had jumped up and got hold of her wrists. He did not hold her roughly, but he held her too firmly for her to get away. She tried to bite him and kicked out with bare feet. "Now don't be silly," said Philip. "I'll let you go and you tell me who you are and why you're following us." But the girl said nothing. She just glared up at Philip out of black eyes. The others, hearing Philip's voice, came running back. "This is the person who is following us, but I can't get a word out of her," said Philip. "She's a gypsy girl," said Dinah. The girl scowled at her. Then she glanced at Kiki on Jack's shoulder and stared as if she couldn't take her eyes off her. "I believe she was only following us to get a glimpse of the parrot," said Philip with a laugh. "Is that right, gypsy girl?" And the girl nodded. "Ah, that's right," she said. "Ah, that's right," said Kiki, and the girl stared and gave a laugh of surprise. It altered her face at once and gave her a merry, mischievous look. "What's your name?" asked Philip, letting go her wrists. "Tassie," said the girl. "I saw that bird and I came after you. I didn't mean no harm. I live around the hill with my mother. I know where you live. I know all you do." "Oh, have you been spying around a bit and following us, I suppose," said Jack. "Do you know this hillside well?" Tassie nodded. Her bright black eyes hardly left Kiki, and she seemed fascinated by the parrot. "Pop goes the weasel," said Kiki to her in a solemn voice. "Open your book at page 6. "I say, do you know of the eagle's nest on the hill?" said Jack suddenly, and he thought it quite likely that this wild little girl might know things like that. "What's an eagle?" said Tassie. "It's a big bird," said Jack. "A very big bird with a curved beak and—" "Like your bird there?" said Tassie, pointing to Kiki. "No, no," said Jack. "Well, never mind. If you don't know what an eagle is like, you won't know where it nests either." "It's time to go back home," said Philip, "and I'm hungry. Tassie, would you take us the shortest way home?" To Philip's surprise, Tassie turned around and plunged down the hillside, as sure-footed as a goat. The others followed, and she took them such a short cut that all of them were amazed when they saw Spring Cottage in front of them. "Thanks, Tassie," said Philip, and Peaky echoed his words. "Thanks, Tassie." Tassie smiled, and her usual rather sulky look fled. "I'll see you again," she said, and turned to go. "Did you say you lived on the old cottage around the hill?" yelled Jack after her. "Ah, that's right," she shouted back, and